Hi, my name's Matthew, and in today's video, I just want to show you some things that I've done as someone who's new to software-defined radio um, and really wants to have the ability to listen not only to some digital trunking, but some old conventional analog through the aircraft band. And using kind of the software programs that are out there right now, and then maybe also kind of video of like a wish list of what like maybe things that I wish could be done out there. And before we get started, just a quick background. I'm someone who got into kind of not ham radio, but just like police scanning and aircraft scanning and all that good jazz. Back kind of in the early 2000s, where I had a Radio Shack Pro 96, which at the time was kind of like at the bleeding edge of kind of scanner technology, where it could do some very basic digital trunking. But nowadays, is obviously can't really do anything except listen kind of to the back to the old conventional radios, which is kind of where I left off. So as someone who's now working with software-defined radio, about 2 weeks ago, I went out and bought 2 dongles of the RTL V4s. Great little devices that just kind of plug and play, minus some of the weird driver issues that you have to contend with. But then I've just kind of spent the last 2 weeks tinkering with the software that's out there, and it's kind of a weird mix of some great open source projects that are, for lack of a better word, kind of abandonware. Kind of like this Rdio Scanner app here, that is a great little tool that can connect with sdrtrunk. So why don't I actually go ahead and open up sdrtrunk. If you can't tell while this is loading, I live in the Madison, Wisconsin area. So for me, I want to listen in on the police scanner, so like Dane County, Madison, which they have 2 different systems, but that are kind of interlinked. But for me, I'm really just kind of listening to Dane County for the most part. So here, SDR Scanner, again, great program, very easy to download, install, and use, and especially if you have a radio reference account like I do, just integrate it in, and boom, you're off to the races. So here, just want to real quickly, want to just play real quick, just to prove that indeed this is working with my 2 dongles I got set up. Both are running in this case. They are sharing the same antenna, which I know is probably not the best thing out there, but such is life.
86,
So here, on the left-hand side,
for disabled red band
obviously got the SDR program, and then on the right is the scanner program, which again is kind of like abandonware at this moment. I have not seen that it was updated any time recently, like within the last 2 years, it looks like. But it's working just fine here. And it's doing what doing what I want it to do. And what I really like is that it takes all the channel recordings of sdrtrunk here and able to plug it into this program, so you can listen to all the channels, and you can skip ahead, you can toggle channels in and out, and so on and so forth. So great program that's still working, but again, maybe not the best thing out there in the world, or something that I wish maybe was updated a little bit more. So then I was like, okay, this is great for trunking, digital trunking, but what about if you want to listen in on aircraft? What's out there for conventional AM programming? And that's where I kind of hit a wall. And it took me a long time to kind of be like, okay, I want to kind of get back to that conventional scanning like I did for my old Radio Shack police scanner. And I know that's not quite how software-defined radio works, but at the same time, seems like something that should not be too hard to do. And for me, really kind of the big thing that I was running into wasn't so much kind of the programs and recording audio and all that good jazz. I was actually finding a good AM modulator that could take the AM frequencies in and like actually modulate it to high quality sound. And finally, I found one that was working really well for me, and that's SDRangel, which is a program that I know some people love and some people really hate. I've really come to love it for two things, and then I'll definitely have some stuff that I want to talk about here in just a little bit. But here you can see I have SDRangel open, and on the scanner frequency, or I should say frequency scanner plugin or module that they have, I've loaded in some channels, which is great. It works really well. It's super fast, and it can scan through all the different channels super fast. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and start going on this. And here I just have one dongle working and only going through two frequencies here. And that's just fine. Now, one of the things that kind of popped into my mind as I was working through this, and we'll see if we get any hits here. The only problem is, oh, there's one. Okay, maybe not. The only thing living in kind of Madison Airport is that, yes, it is a very busy airport, or it can be a very busy airport, but not all the time. So right now I do have some planes that are in the area, so we'll see if we get listening to any of them anytime soon. That guy's just passing by. Where's this guy going? To Denver. So just have this Delta flight right now. Yeah, so we'll see. It might be a little hit or miss whether or not we hear stuff here as we're going through. But I kind of got the idea of, okay, if I can record stuff here, can I get it to pass through this radio scanner app, which can take in any sort of audio recordings, but like I was saying, I was having a real hard time with other software programs and their AM demodulators. Just wasn't getting a crisp sound like I can out of this app. And then and actually speaking of which right now, this isn't quite doing what I want of it. So let me tune in here real quickly. I don't know why that delta frequency was so off. But anyway, we'll let that run. But I was like, okay, I really want to like record this audio, put it into an app, a scanner app like this, so I can kind of like toggle on and off channels similar to how you can with SDR trunking, and especially using this radio scanner app here. But as I was going and trying to see if there's any solutions online or if people had similar ideas, just wasn't really coming across anything. And one of the big limitations, obviously, with software-defined radio, especially if you're using a dongle like the RTL V4, is that you're only covering, 20 megahertz of the frequency at a time, so that's not awesome. It's really kind of hard to tune into multiple channels at once when you're not trunking. And you don't have like specific frequencies that you can like tune in and get good recordings out of, if that makes sense, like how SDR trunk kind of does its thing. I just really wasn't finding the same for AM, and kind of understandably so, just because there's that frequency limitation with only being able to see about like 20 to 25 megahertz at a time. And that doesn't quite fit into the aircraft band. And then the other thing, let's see if we, I kind of want to stop rambling here because I want to get to the point of I actually have kind of found a solution integrating SDRangel here into kind of a traditional scanner app and kind of getting that traditional scanner interface that I really fell in love with SDR trunk. And this radio scanner app here. And how I kind of did that was through SDRangel, you are actually able to record audio. It's a relatively new feature. And here you can see I have what is called the swatch folder, which if you are familiar with the radio scanner app here, it can watch folders and then take audio from that folder and put it into its app. And unfortunately, with the SDRangel, you can't actually like change any of the naming schemes except for putting in like the initial name. But that doesn't give you any other information. Unlike sdrtrunk, which actually embeds a bunch of information into that audio file and then passes it along to the Rdio Scanner app, which then decodes all that meta information. And that's how you get the ability to like select talk groups and all that good jazz. And you know, the actually like the tagging of the different information. Here, you can't do that with SDRangel, except for the fact that SDRangel does give you the ability to do some information offloading. It does have an API. I'm not going to quite get into that with this video here. I actually have a much kind of simpler way of how I'm doing things right now, if you call it simpler. But it does involve using the native recording app here, so I'm just going to call this Scan A, and you'll see why I call it Scan A in just a second here. So I'll get that going here. And again, oh, maybe, what's this American flight? Oh, that's going to Anchorage, interesting enough. But sometimes there's some other airplanes in the area that you can hear. So we'll get that running. Now, one of the problems I was having with this app is that obviously, unlike sdrtrunk, if you want to listen to multiple channels at once, there's not a great way to do it, and I kind of rambled on that already. But one of the things that I actually figured out is that since I have two dongles, you can actually open up SDRangel twice and have two instances of it. So here I am going to open up SDRangel again. Now you do kind of have to be careful with the setup here because I have had it crash once in a while if you don't set this up exactly how it wants it to be set up. So here notice that if I put this into the first radio here, it's actually going to be unhappy. So I'm going to switch devices here and just whatever, local input, sure, whatever. And then here, I'm going to change the device and go to my other RTL device dongle. So here's the second one. On the second radio channel here, which again, for whatever reason, SDRangel, even though there's two separate instances going, if you start running it, sometimes there can be errors that come up if you do not put it on the second radio channel. So here I have it on a second radio, so I'm gonna hit play here and then start my scan list, which I just want to make sure everything else is properly set. Again, great AM demodulator here and a great frequency scanner program, and already getting some hits, which that is why, hang on, obviously you gotta make sure all your settings are correct. I don't have the I don't have the sampling quite where I need it. Alright, so got that. Let's replay this. Alright, now I shouldn't get so many hits. I also don't want to be listening to everything here. I actually just want to listen to these three channels here. So now I got both scanning. Now, because I'm covering a larger range in the aircraft band here with the second scanner, it actually goes a little bit slower than the first one, which is going lightning fast. But what I can do now is I can actually now have it record a second channel. So I'm calling this Scan B here, and I can start recording things that I hear on this channel. And now if did I actually hit? Yep, okay, so we're recording here. So both of these instances of SDRangel are now recording frequencies here. And I gotta adjust my gain on this guy. So if you're yelling at me that my gain wasn't high enough, I finally figured that one out. So in theory now I'm scanning 5 different channels of the aircraft band on 2 different instances of SDRangel. So here, really, for this instance, I'm listening to tower and approach. And here, on this instance of SDRangel, I'm listening to essentially departure and approach, but like the second channel they use. And then listening to there's like another private company that does Madison Airport is kind of like the main central airport, and then there's like actually another company that runs the private planes, so they use a different frequency. And then I do have Chicago, the, what do they call that, and here got some chatter that's being recorded. So hopefully that's being recorded. We can actually check out and see. Here it is getting put into my watch folder. But I don't have the scanner app up and running right now. And sorry, I'm just, the Air Traffic Control Center, geez. The Chicago Air Traffic Control Center is one of the channels I'm listening to. And kind of a little soft at the moment, but that's fine. Like I said, I'm not super close to tower. But anyway, I have 2 instances going on here. Try not to ramble here. And now I want to bring in back that scanner. So I'm actually going to switch over to my second monitor here, and which is running an instance of Ubuntu. And here we're going to go now to my virtual machine of OBS, where you can see I actually do have the scanner app open here, not running at the moment. And then I have a script that is running through the watch folder that I have here. So here we have some files, so we'll be able to listen to these files here in just a second. And then it's running this script, which is essentially just saying, hey, if it has a certain prefix to the name, you're going to put these attributes to it, which frankly, these attributes are just what that scanner app is looking for. And they're not 100% correct, to be perfectly honest. In fact, one of the things I would love to do is make it reflective more of what the actual scanner frequency is, what the actual channel is. But for right now, I know that I have 2 instances of SDRangel running because I have 2 dongles. And I can just say, I know which channel or which channels I have scanning on the first instance, and I know what I have on the second instance. That's perfectly fine for right now. I probably could, using the API, maybe get some more detail passed along to the scanner app. But now, if I run this actual program, whoops, simply just runs over and watches the watch folder and renames the files for the scanner app. So as soon as I do that here, run this, whoops, run this, let's see, it's going to rename a bunch of files. And now the scanner app is replaying all that was playing while I was talking a little bit earlier. And you can see this is scanner A, so this is the first instance. And most of the chatter was on the first instance. I think towards the end here we'll get the second instance. And again, this is not the best time of day to get a clear signal. Oh, and there we are. There's the second instance. And not a... Yeah. Obviously, I'd probably need to adjust the gain a little bit, tune in my settings a little bit more, and I can already tell that something is messed up on the beat. But anyway, I just wanted to show you real quick how I kind of have that kind of locked in, loaded here. And I would just love to have a program that instead of having to kind of do this weird hack, I would love it if SDRangel could actually do similar to what sdrtrunk is and allow me to record multiple channels as long as within that 25 megahertz, and then output that audio. And you can see here I just got a hit, so my program, and there it is, got another hit that's coming in. Oops. So that should show up here in just a moment. And again, scanner B being the second instance that I have running here. So anyway, I just wanted to show you real quickly that, and man, if you are a developer of SDRangel or know someone who does plugins, I would really love it if, like, hey, how about our AM demodulator? What if we put an audio recording to that then could focus in and give metadata, like, hey, what frequency was it at the time? Pass that along. Even if it just passed that, what was it tuned in on? That would probably give me the ability to program then SDR, radio scanner app here a lot easier. So if you have any questions or concerns, or this was a little too rambly for you, I'm sorry about that. But this is kind of a cool hack that I had going with SDRangel and trying to get the same capability that I see out of sdrtrunk into kind of the more conventional AM aircraft frequency. So with that, hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll talk later. Oh, and of course, here is the end.
09 down to 3000 for
just to prove that I can get actual aircraft frequencies here. So anyway, we'll talk later. Leave comments below. Thank you very much.